what's the most reoccurring topic or subject matter that comes up within your group or the people that you meet with?
Yeah, I think that it's different people who are outside of WOW who are just like seeing me speak at an event and they have their kind of their own set of questions. And then once somebody's been with WOW, the conversations get to be a little bit different. But on the outside, I feel like the most common conversation I'm in is a frustration of people who are doing all they know to do, all they've been told to do. These are not slackers. They are not sitting around just hoping for business, right? They are doing the work. They're dotting the I's, they're crossing the T's, they're building out their entire funnels, and then they're going to market. And, which I never advise, right? Like I go to market first, sell, and then the funnels are created, perfected really on the backside of actual selling. But, nobody's teaching that, right? Like they're going to these 3-day events and they're like getting all their stuff done and they're
and you're writing a funnel in permanent marker that you've never done once, which is ridiculous.
Right. And I'm like, give me a freaking break. Like, what are you even doing? It's a
guessing. You're guessing, hoping, but you've put so much time and attention into the damn thing that you've written it in permanent marker. And it's like, like you have no idea if this thing works. Yeah, I'm with you.
And it's a little bit of exercise and hubris too, right? Like I'm not that smart. I don't want to sit there and create something, in the vacuum of my own mind. Like I, don't create a program and then sell it. I sell it and then I create the program. Why? It's always a better program when it's actually created in tandem with real people who are going through it.
I think that's a good reason why you should document what you're doing with your current clients or whatever the process is as a thing. So then in that situation, when you want to sell that thing over again, you just look back and
right.
Yeah. It's interesting. What I keep hearing you say and articulate to me is something that maybe it's definitely something I suck at. I've definitely tried getting a lot better at this. And I think the overwhelming majority of people are terrible at this thing. It seems like you're a really good copywriter. And I think that's a skill that is, from a business perspective, maybe something that should be more on the forefront of stuff. And just what are your just general thoughts on copywriting? Am I right of your assessment of being a good copywriter and just what copywriting 101? What do you think?
Yeah, it is how I really got my start in business consulting, right? People wanted me for my copywriting. I studied under the amazing greats of our time, and I guess now previous to our time, Gary Howard, Dan Kennedy, Ogilvy, right? Like I was a very serious student of these people. And so, copywriting is huge. It cannot be, in my opinion, it can't be overstated because a lot is still sold via the written word. And even if it's going to be a video sales page, it's going to be written first, right? And so if it, like a copywriting 101, stop the cutesy jargon, right? Like so often we feel like we need to look really, really smart at the front end in order to get people to pay us money. And really, like all of our industry jargon means that we're not actually talking to the people who should be paying us. So like keep it basic, right? Be very, very deliberately basic in your copywriting. Don't try to be cutesy. Give a headline that promises a benefit that they understand, right? And then make sure that you are infusing a little bit of personality into the copy itself. So like typically, matter of fact, I just taught this yesterday. I'm going to pull up my notes, but typically it is, you want to have a core promise up front, right? Like and a core promise, as an aside, should never just be, I'm going to teach you how to make $1 million, right? Like it's going to be a promise of X minus Y. So I'm going to teach you how to do this without having to do this, right? So it's, your core promise. And a quick narrative, right? Like a quick narrative that can be a paragraph or two that infuses some personality, right? Where again, you're putting out there like why you should learn this from me over anybody else out there. When I first started selling business consulting, it was really around maybe the 2008, 2009. And, when I got serious about doing this, and I was like, you know what, like, why should they buy from me? Because I never had any credit, because I never had free flowing money into my business. I learned how to gut it out the way they were now having to, now that their credit dried up, with the recession. So, core promise up front, quick narrative. Then you want to have some mini promises, right? Like some little things to hit your core promise at different angles, a little bit more narrative about maybe the process or what's different about whatever it is that you're selling, and then deliverables. And I feel like people put so much stock in the deliverables, like 413 pages of whatever, or 1,000 hours. And it's like, man, if I can give it to you in 2 hours, wouldn't you prefer that over 1,000, right? So that's kind of my copywriting 101, but just keep it basic, infuse your personality in there, and be very direct. Don't forget to make the freaking ask multiple times, right? A lot of times we keep hinting around and we're never like, actually buy this right now. Click here.
How did you gain the confidence to make that ask? I'd see so many people hint around it because they lack that confidence to do it. Is that something that you always had, or is it practice makes perfect?
I was just too broke in the beginning to hint around. Like literally, like I had no credit. We had $213 in savings, and I had quit my job. I didn't have family with money. My husband didn't have family with money. I actually thought he must have had family with money, because he didn't act worried about me quitting my job. Come to find out, he didn't think I really quit my job. He thought all mothers said that. And I'm like, holy God, I'm like resting in his confidence. So I never considered like whether or not I was confident enough to sell. Like what I considered was my power bill was due. What I considered was that I had a mortgage that I needed to pay, and I did not want to go back to work. For me, and this is not any judgment on any other woman, for me, I wasn't going to do the childcare thing. Like I was going to be there for my kids. And so I didn't consider whether I was confident or ready or polished or whether I knew how to sell. All I did was ask, right? And I want to give this to your viewers, because like so often we have the lens of our life, like we have it faced on us. Am I ready? Am I confident? Do I feel polished enough? Are they going to think I'm professional? Are they going to think I'm smart enough? Instead of, if you really believe in what you're selling and the lens of your life is pointed at them, you don't consider yourself. You're like, I can help these people. Why don't we make the exchange, right? I can help you with that. Let's get started. Very, very easy. Are you ready to get started? Do you want to begin a professional relationship with me? When would you like to get started? These are things that if the lens of your life, if you start to get less concerned about how you look or how you feel, then you get to focus on your market and what they stand to gain from whatever you sell. And that changes everything. Now I don't have to be confident, or I don't have to, feel like I have all of my I's dotted. All I have to do is think of the person that I can help.
I think Damon John wrote a book about that called The Power of Broke too, where it's just
he did.
Yeah.
He and I were able to spend some time together at an event in, right after that book came out. And he was asking me if I wanted him to sign my book. And I was like, I don't need you to sign this book. Like, I need you to write this book, right? Like, I have lived the power of broke. I did get him to sign the book. But anyway, yeah. So it's, yeah, I think there's nothing like it, right? I never considered anything like branding or a sales process. I mean, it's just like, I need money and I can do this for you. Do you want me to do it for X number of dollars, period?
Yeah, I think people just need to get over that and, just realize, hey, like, are you a business or are you a hobby?
That's right.
You used the word don't get cute in your copywriting, but then you said to add some personality in there. How do you differentiate those two?
Yeah. So get cute is my husband's, he uses that in fantasy football. Like if he ever kind of misses like the basic principles that get him where he is in fantasy football, and he like got cute. Right. And so, yeah, I'm so glad that you asked me that. So what I mean by not getting cute is if you sell, let's say, skincare and lipstick, right? Don't make your headline about like, world peace and, uniting all nations, right? You know, it's like, you don't want to get cute with it, with the words you're using to describe the end result that you can provide, right? And so women can do this a lot, right? Like, I'll never forget one time speaking at this event, and people went around and they were in, you know, doing their like 30-second commercial or whatever, and everyone's like, you know, and I sell world peace, or I sell calm, or I sell whatever. I'm like, yeah, but what do I get when I pay you money? You know, is it like bath bombs? What is it, right? Like, just be very direct about what you sell and the benefit it provides, right? There's no commercial benefit to being so cute that people miss the mark entirely, right? There's a lot of people looking for lipstick and skincare. Sell it to them, you know, like, just be direct about it. That's what I mean.